So I need everybody to sit down for this one. Because what Stefon Diggs is doing right now is one of the most embarrassing displays I have ever seen from a grown man in my life. And I have seen some embarrassing things on this channel, but this right here, this is a whole different level. Because this man just got dumped by Cardi B in front of the entire world, and instead of sitting somewhere quiet, reflecting on his choices, and maybe, just maybe, taking some accountability, he is out here allegedly losing his entire mind. We're talking about rage. We're talking about obsessive behavior. We're talking about a man who reportedly cannot accept that a woman had enough self-respect to look at him, look at what he did, and say, I'm good. And the way this whole thing is unfolding, the things being reported, the moves he's allegedly making behind the scenes, it is painting a picture that honestly makes Cardi look like a genius for leaving when she did. So, we're going to get into all of it today. Every detail, every report, every alleged text, every move, every desperate attempt this man has made to either get Cardi back or tear her down for walking away. And by the end of this, I think you're going to agree with me that Stefon Diggs played himself in a way that he will never fully recover from. All right, so before we get into the rage spiral, let me set the stage properly because the context matters. You cannot understand why Stefon is acting the way he's acting right now without understanding the full timeline of what went down. So let's go back to February 8th, 2026, Super Bowl Sunday, the New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Right, this was supposed to be the biggest night of Stefon Diggs' career. He had been traded to the Patriots. He had something to prove, and the entire sports world was watching. Cardi B was right there supporting him. She showed up. She was at the game. She posted about it. She gave him that energy before kickoff, that go-get-it, baby energy, the kind of support that most men would give anything to have from their partner on the biggest night of their professional life. And then the game happened. Patriots lose 29-13. It was ugly. Stefon played terribly, like historically bad for a Super Bowl performance. But here's the thing. Losing the Super Bowl is not why Cardi left. Let me be very clear about that. Cardi is not the type of woman to leave a man because he had a bad game. She stuck with him through way worse than a football loss. Like, she stuck with him when those strangulation charges dropped. She stuck with him through public scrutiny, through rumors, through all of it. So no, the game is not what ended this relationship. What ended this relationship is what was happening off the field. Because on that same Super Bowl Sunday, while Cardi was in the stadium supporting her man, his baby mama Kiki was also at the game, posting from the stands with their son. Now, that by itself is complicated enough. But then you add in Pry, another woman who was allegedly at the Super Bowl with Patriots access. Not general admission, not nosebleed seats, Patriots access. Which means somebody gave her those credentials, and we can all do the math on who that somebody was. And then the report that allegedly broke the camel's back. Sources say that after the game, but after that embarrassing 29-13 loss, Stefon allegedly snuck someone into his hotel room. Hours after losing the Super Bowl. Hours after Cardi had been sitting in that stadium cheering for him. This man allegedly had another woman in his hotel room that same night. When Cardi found out, and I don't know exactly how she found out, whether it was a friend who told her, whether she saw something on social media, whether somebody sent her proof, but however she found out, she was done. Not let's talk about it done. Not I need some space done. Done. She left the stadium early. By the next morning, they had unfollowed each other on Instagram. Entertainment Tonight confirmed through a source that they had broken up, and Cardi posted one word on her story. Done. No explanation, no long paragraph, no crying video. Just done. And she moved on like that man never existed in her life. Now, for a normal, emotionally mature person, this is the part where you sit with your choices. You realize you messed up. You accept the consequences. Maybe you write a heartfelt apology that you never send. Maybe you call your mama and cry about it. Maybe you go to therapy. You do something productive with that pain. But Stefon Diggs is apparently not a normal, emotionally mature person because, according to everything that's being reported right now, this man chose violence. Not physical violence, but emotional chaos. Pure, unfiltered rage directed at the woman he wronged because she had the nerve to leave him for it. So let's get into what he's allegedly been doing since the breakup. And I want y'all to really pay attention because every single thing I'm about to describe is a red flag the size of a football field. In the days right after the split, multiple sources are reporting that Stefon was blowing up Cardi's phone. We're not talking about a couple of "can we talk" texts. We're talking about dozens of messages, back-to-back phone calls, the kind of nonstop contact that would make anybody uncomfortable. And Cardi handled it exactly the way she should have. She left him on red. She blocked his number. She did not respond to a single message. She made it abundantly clear through her silence that there was nothing left to discuss. The relationship was over, and no amount of texting was going to change that. But Stefon reportedly could not take the hint. When the direct calls and texts didn't work, he allegedly started going through mutual friends. He was asking people in their shared circle to reach out to Cardi on his behalf, to convince her to at least hear him out, to give him a chance to explain. And Cardi shut that down too. She reportedly told her friends, in no uncertain terms, that there was nothing to hear out, nothing to explain, and nothing that would change her mind. She saw what she saw. She knew what she knew, and the decision was final. And that's when things allegedly took a turn. Because according to people who've been talking to various outlets covering this story, once Stefon realized that Cardi was genuinely not coming back, that she was serious about being done, his energy shifted from desperation to anger. And not just regular anger. We're talking about a deep, bitter, and yet resentful kind of rage that's been spilling out in his private conversations, his social media behavior, and reportedly even his actions in real life. Let's start with what he's allegedly been saying about Cardi behind closed doors. Sources say that Stefon has been telling people in his inner circle that Cardi was dramatic, that she overreacted, that she blew everything out of proportion. He's allegedly been saying that she never really supported him the way she claimed to, that she was using the relationship for publicity, and that she wasn't even that great of a girlfriend in the first place. And I need everybody to just sit with that for a second, because the audacity of those statements is actually breathtaking when you look at the facts. This is the same woman who was at every single Patriots game. Not just the home games in nice weather, every game, including those freezing cold November and December games in Foxborough where the wind chill has you questioning your life choices. Cardi was there, bundled up, cheering, supporting her man in front of cameras and millions of people. That's not for publicity. That's love. This is the same woman who stood by him when those strangulation charges became public, when the entire internet was calling him out, when sponsors were getting nervous, when his reputation was taking hits. Cardi defended him publicly. She put her own credibility on the line for this man. She vouched for him when a lot of people wouldn't have. And now he wants to say she wasn't supportive? Please. This is the same woman who had his baby, who carried his child, went through pregnancy, went through delivery, and was raising that child while also managing a career, a tour, and a public relationship. And he has the nerve to say she was using him for publicity? Cardi B doesn't need Stefon Diggs for publicity. Let's be real about that. Before Stefon, Cardi was Cardi. After Stefon, Cardi is still Cardi. If anything, this relationship gave him more visibility than it gave her. But in his rage, he's apparently trying to flip the script, trying to make it seem like she needed him more than he needed her. And nobody is buying it. But it doesn't stop at the private trash talking. There are reports that Stefon has also been deeply bothered, like losing sleep level bothered by how well Cardi is doing since the breakup. Because right now, Cardi is on her Little Miss tour, and she is absolutely killing it. Every show is packed. She's getting standing ovations. The videos coming out of these performances are incredible. She looks good. She sounds good. She's performing with the kind of energy that tells you she's in her element, thriving, and completely at peace with her decision. And reportedly, that is eating Stefon alive. Because in his mind, according to the people around him, he expected Cardi to fall apart. He expected her to be devastated. He expected her to be at home crying, posting sad songs on her Instagram story, maybe even reaching out to him because she couldn't handle being without him. That's the narrative he had in his head, that without Stefon Diggs, Cardi B would crumble. Instead, she's on a stage every night in front of thousands of people, living her absolute best life, looking better than she's ever looked. I'm not mentioning his name even once. Not a single subliminal post, not a single interview where she brings him up, not even a sad song dedication, nothing. And that unbothered energy, that complete and total indifference to his existence, is reportedly what's driving Stefon to the edge. Now, here's where it gets really wild. Multiple sources are claiming that Stefon actually tried to show up at one of Cardi's tour stops. He allegedly attempted to get backstage access, tried to see her in person, supposedly to talk things out. And Cardi's security team shut it down immediately. He was not allowed anywhere near her. Her people had it locked tight. And honestly, the fact that he thought he could just show up unannounced after everything he did, and she would be like, "Oh, come on back. Let's chat," tells you everything about how disconnected from reality this man is right now. Cardi is working, she's performing, she's taking care of her kids, she's building her empire. She is not about to let the man who embarrassed her on Super Bowl Sunday waltz backstage like nothing happened. And the fact that her security had to physically keep him away is genuinely concerning because it shows a man who does not respect boundaries. And isn't that exactly what got him in trouble in the first place? Let me talk about the social media behavior for a minute, because this is where it gets really transparent. In the weeks since the breakup, people have noticed that Stefon has been liking certain types of posts on Instagram and Twitter, posts about toxic women, posts about men being taken advantage of in relationships, posts about how relationships are one-sided and men always get blamed. He hasn't come out and said Cardi's name directly, but the timing and the pattern make it pretty clear who he's subtweeting about. And of course, the internet is not letting him get away with it. People are in the comments of every single one of those posts, reminding him of the facts, reminding him that he had 4 babies with 4 different women in a single year, reminding him that he had multiple women at the Super Bowl while his girlfriend was in the stands, reminding him that he allegedly cheated in his hotel room on the biggest night of his career. The replies are brutal, and honestly, he brought every single one of them on himself. One post that went viral said, Stefon Diggs is mad that Cardi left like he didn't have a whole roster at the Super Bowl. Another one said, imagine fumbling Cardi B and then being mad she walked away. The delusion is strong with this one. And my personal favorite was somebody who said, Stefon out here liking posts about toxic women when he's the most toxic person in every room he walks into. The internet is absolutely dragging this man, and he has no defense because the facts are the facts. What I find really fascinating about this whole situation is the contrast between how Stefon is handling the breakup and how Cardi is handling it, because you could not find 2 more opposite approaches if you tried. On one side, you have Stefon, who is allegedly raging in private, trash-talking the mother of his child to anyone who will listen, obsessively trying to contact her, trying to show up at her events uninvited, and using social media to paint himself as a victim. That is what a person does when they have no accountability, no self-awareness, and no emotional maturity. And on the other side, you have Cardi, who has said absolutely nothing. Not one public word about Stefon since the breakup. No interviews, no rants, no subliminal posts. She unfollowed him, posted done, and redirected every ounce of her energy into her tour, her kids, and her career. She's posting about self-love, she's posting about protecting your peace, she's showing up for her children. She is the picture of a woman who made a hard decision and is standing firm in it. And that silence, that refusal to engage, that is the most powerful move she could make right now. Because every day that Cardi stays quiet and keeps thriving, Stefon looks worse. Every day that she doesn't respond to his alleged messages, doesn't acknowledge his social media behavior, doesn't give him even a crumb of attention, he spirals a little further. Her silence is doing more damage to his narrative than any clapback ever could. Now, let me address something that I think is really important here, because I've seen some people online trying to make excuses for Stefon, saying things like, well, maybe he's just heartbroken, or people do crazy things when they're hurt. And sure, heartbreak is real. Losing someone you love is painful. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that breakups don't make people act out of character sometimes. But there's a difference between heartbreak and entitlement. And what Stefon is displaying right now is not heartbreak. Heartbreak looks like sadness, like reflection, like taking time to heal. What Stefon is doing looks like a man who lost control of something he thought belonged to him and is furious that he can't get it back. When a man is truly heartbroken over losing a good woman, he doesn't trash talk her to his friends. He doesn't try to rewrite the history of the relationship. He doesn't show up uninvited to her workplace. He doesn't go on social media liking posts that paint her as the villain. A heartbroken man sits with his pain. He acknowledges what he did wrong. He gives the woman space. He works on himself. That's what heartbreak looks like when it comes from a place of genuine love and respect. What Stefon is doing comes from a place of ego. Pure ego. He cannot fathom that Cardi chose herself over him. He cannot accept that his actions had permanent consequences. He thought he could do whatever he wanted, with whoever he wanted, and Cardi would just deal with it because she loved him. And when she proved him wrong, when she showed him that her self-respect was bigger than her love for him, it broke something in him, not his heart, his ego, and a bruised ego in a man who has never been told no is a dangerous thing. I also want to talk about the people around Stefon for a minute, because this is an underreported part of the story. According to insiders, people in his circle, his friends, some of his family, reportedly his own teammates, have been telling him to let this go. They've been saying, "Bro, focus on your legal situation. Focus on getting ready for next season. Oh, focus on your kids. Stop chasing a woman who's made it clear she's done." And he's apparently not listening to any of them. He's so consumed by this anger, so fixated on Cardi and what she did by leaving, that he can't hear reason from the people closest to him. And that right there should tell everybody everything they need to know. When the people who love you, the people who are in your corner, the people who want the best for you, are all saying the same thing and you still can't hear it, you are not operating from a rational place. You are operating from a place of wounded pride and unchecked emotion. And that's a dangerous headspace for anybody, but especially for a professional athlete who has a legal case pending and an entire career hanging in the balance. Oh, let me also point something out that I think a lot of people are overlooking. Stefon Diggs is mad at the wrong person. He is directing all of this rage at Cardi when the person he should really be angry at is himself. Cardi didn't do anything to him, she didn't cheat, she didn't lie. She didn't disrespect the relationship, she didn't have another man at the Super Bowl, she did everything right. She showed up, she supported him, she was loyal, she was present, she gave him a family. All she asked for in return was the same thing she gave him, which was loyalty and respect. And he couldn't do it. So when he's raging about Cardi embarrassing him by leaving the Super Bowl early, he needs to ask himself why she left early. When he's raging about her unfollowing him publicly, he needs to ask himself what he did that made her want to disconnect from him in front of the entire world. When he's raging about the internet taking her side, he needs to ask himself why everybody can see that she's the one who was wronged. The answer to every single one of those questions is the same. It's him. He's the reason. Everything he's mad about traces back to his own choices, his own behavior, his own inability to be faithful to a woman who gave him everything. And here's what makes this really sad. Cardi reportedly gave Stefon every chance to do right. She communicated her boundaries from the beginning. She told him what she expected from the relationship. She was clear about what she would and would not tolerate. This was not a woman who set traps or played games or kept her standards a secret. She put it all on the table. Like she said, "This is what I need from you. This is what respect looks like to me. This is where my line is." And Stefon heard all of that, looked her in the eye, and then crossed every single line she drew. So when people ask why Cardi left so quickly, why she didn't give him a chance to explain, why she didn't try to work it out, the answer is that she already did all of that work on the front end. She already communicated. She already set the boundaries. She already told him what the consequences would be. And when he violated those boundaries, she followed through. That's not being dramatic. That's not overreacting. That's being a woman of her word. And honestly, more people should handle it the way Cardi did. Say what you mean what you say, and follow through when somebody shows you they don't take you seriously. Now, what happens from here is anybody's guess. Stefon still has those pending legal issues to deal with. He's got a football career that's in question after that Super Bowl performance. He's got multiple children with multiple women who all need his time, attention, and financial support. He's got a lot on his plate that has absolutely nothing to do with Cardi B. And the smart thing, the mature thing, would be to redirect all of this energy he's wasting on rage into handling his actual responsibilities. But based on everything we're seeing right now, I'm not confident that's what's going to happen. Because a man who is this consumed by anger, this fixated on a woman who's already moved on, is not a man who's thinking clearly. He's not a man who's making good decisions. He's a man who is spiraling, not unless somebody in his life can really get through to him, unless he can step back and see himself the way the rest of the world sees him right now. This is only going to get worse for him. As for Cardi, she's going to be just fine. More than fine. She's going to continue her tour. She's going to continue being a great mother. She's going to continue building her brand and her legacy. And one day she's going to look back on this relationship as the moment she learned, once and for all, that she deserves someone who matches her energy, her loyalty, and her love. And Stefon Diggs was not that person. So at the end of all of this, Stefon can rage all he wants. He can call her names in private. He can like bitter posts on social media. He can try to rewrite the story to make himself the victim. He can tell himself whatever he needs to tell himself to sleep at night. But the truth is out there for everybody to see, and no amount of anger is going to change it. He had a real one. A woman who loved him, supported him, defended him, and gave him a family. And he threw it all away because he thought he could have everything without consequences. And now that the consequences are here, now that the woman he wronged has walked away with her head held high, he wants to rage about it. That's on him. That is entirely on him. And Cardi, she's out here living proof that choosing yourself is always the right decision, even when it's the hardest one. She's showing every woman watching that you don't have to stay where you're not valued. You don't have to accept less than what you deserve. Oh, you don't have to shrink yourself to make a man comfortable with his own bad behavior. You can leave, you can thrive, and you can do it all without saying a single word about the person who wronged you. That's power. Real power. All right, so let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think Stefon is ever going to calm down and accept what happened? Or do you think he's going to keep spiraling? And honestly, do you think there's any chance Cardi would ever take him back? Because based on everything I'm seeing, that door is welded shut. Drop your thoughts below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the updates on this story, because I have a feeling this is far from over. Until next time, I'll catch y'all in the next one.